The mystery of missing students at the prestigious Newton Academy, a school made up of its rigorous teaching methods. A group of friends face a series of mysterious disappearances. Lucas, Alice, Felipe, and Marina were senior students, and, as the end of the school year approached, we were focused on our studies. However, something strange began to happen. Without explanation, classmates began to disappear. First, it was Pedro, one of the brightest days of the day, after Julia, who was always present. The matter spread quickly among the students, creating an atmosphere of fear and distrust. Lucas, the most curious of the group, began to notice a father. All of the missing students were those who had failed in a series of challenging statements applied to the logic professor, or the feared Mr. Victor. Could it be that he has something to see with him? Lucas asked. Alice, more rational and ethical, immediately discarded the idea. This is absurd, Lucas. Professors do not ask students. There must be a more logical explanation. However, as the days pass and more students begin to feel uncomfortable, the group begins to feel uncomfortable. The school authorities seemed strangely silent on the matter, as if they wanted to cover something up. It was then that Marina suggested that he investigate on his own. We are not going to do anything. What we have to discover, or what is happening, she said, determined. On a cool afternoon, after the classrooms, the four friends decided to move on. We were convinced that there was something sinister going on, and Marina, who had heard stories about a secret room in the school grounds, believed that we could find answers to it. With flashlights in my hands and a racing heart, the group ventured into the empty school corridors. Chuva fought strongly against the Janilas, creating an even more tense atmosphere. He looked at the gate of two farms, which seemed to be locked. Felipe, or more skilled with technology, used an improvised tool to unblock the door. How do you know how to do this? Alice asked, surprised. Felipe smiled. Hours assisting tutorials on the internet. As we enter the room, we are greeted with a disturbing sight. The space was large, dark, and full of technological equipment that we called secret laboratories. There were cameras, monitors showing various rooms of the school, and a large white table filled with confusing notes. In the center, a chain that seemed designed for some type of experiment. Lucas approached and barnacled something even more strange. A list of names of missing students was written on the square. This is very strange. Why do you do something like that? Marina was in shock, more determined to continue in front. As we investigated the room, we heard a noise behind them. It was Mr. Victor. He seemed calm and, in a somewhat cold manner, said, "It seems that you will find us or that we will not return." Or paralyzed Fika group. The professor explained that the missing students have been sent for a special apprenticeship program. These students will not be able to pass the challenges that they prepare, as they are transferred to another dimenso of teaching, let's say. The tone of his voice was sinister, and his friends began to imagine, or worse. Suddenly, the lights in the room went out, and the children were left behind in the dark. When the lights came on again, we were surrounded by classmates, all of whom were believed to be missing. He was laughing, and Mr. Victor now had a smile on his face. Parabens, voces passarum no test. Your friends, confused, will try to understand what was happening. Mr. Victor then explained that everything was part of an innovative pedagogical experience that he was developing to teach students to work together, to think logically, and to face stressful situations. The idea was to create a scenario of mystery and intrigue so that students could solve problems in groups, with critical thinking and creativity. But why do something so scary? Alice asked, still incredulous. The teacher calmly responded, "Many times, we learn more when we are outside our comfort zone. Either average or confused, it makes us think in different ways. And your voices are very good. We will unite forces and investigate, demonstrate work in equipment and determination. This is what really matters." The group was relieved, but still resentful for going through so much tension. Felipe was the first to laugh at the situation. "Eko que isso value uma boa note. Careless any?" Everyone laughs, and Mr. Victor agrees. "Vocês passaram com distinção." And, most importantly, we will learn what everything looks like. Sometimes the solution to a problem is under our noses, but we need to work together to solve it. When I left the room, I was still reflecting on the experience. Lucas spoke to his friends and said, "Ainda bem que let's be together nisso. Eu neo teria aguentado sozinho." Alice smiled and agreed. "Sim, it was meio scary, mas eco que saimos mais fortes disso tudo." Marina, always practical, accretive. "But the next time we hear fanfare about disappearances, let's investigate a little more calmly." And everyone agrees. I give up. As soon as they head to the cafeteria to relax after the big adventure. Despite the scare, we will see the situation with a new perspective on the power of logic, to work in teams, and how, sometimes, the biggest challenge we face is in our own mind. Friendship between them became even stronger, and ultimately, they realized that, despite two challenges, it was possible to learn in ways they had never imagined. The mystery of two missing students was solved, and, not the end of the story, it was just the beginning of a new task of learning. The story of mystery of missing students makes us reflect on how many times the biggest challenges we face are not in the outside world, but in our own minds. The idea that fear and confusion can be powerful tools to force us to think in new and creative ways is a central theme here. When we are confronted with situations that we cannot control or understand, our instinct is to react with fear and insecurity. But, in truth, these moments can be opportunities for growth and learning. The lived experience of the characters reminds us of the importance of working in teams and cooperating. Sozinhos, perhaps we have not managed to unravel the mystery, but by uniting our strengths and knowledge, we will be able to overcome the challenges. This makes us reflect on how, in life, many times we cannot solve all of our problems and how supporting others is essential. Also, the revelation that the mystery was a planned lesson for the professor invites us to rethink the value of learning for two conventional methods. We always need to see more books or books. Sometimes, life teaches us through practical, challenging, and unexpected experiences. The moments of uncertainty make you uncomfortable. Only those that most teach us about ourselves and the world around us. Finally, history teaches us that, while evil and mystery can paralyze us, it is also the potential to drive us to be stronger, more resilient, and more capable than we imagine.